Hey guys, and welcome to another Schematics interview. This time we want to talk about Space Haven, and that means we have another guest this time. And this time it's Aksel. Hey.
Hey there.
And of course I'm joined by Blind as well.
Hello.
So Aksel, could you please introduce yourself real quick?
I'm Aksel. I'm part of a 3-man indie team called Bugbite, and we're located in Finland. We've been making games for 6 years. Time flies by fast, but it's been a fun ride so far.
So tell us a little bit about Bugbite. What have you guys worked on previously?
Yeah, so it all started 6 years ago when together with my brother we very spontaneously decided to try to make games ourselves. We just jumped into it without any earlier experience really. And we started creating. We got our first game done in about a year, and our first 2 games were pretty simple games with dogs as a team. And then, to make it short, we didn't succeed financially with them at all. So we decided to try something completely different. And my brother created a prototype one weekend of a space game. And this was the point from where Battle Void, a space game series, were born. And this ultimately led us to create a game called Battle Void Harbinger, which is our biggest success yet. Yeah, we've been making games for 6 years. Matti, our graphic designer, joined 5 years ago, and we've stayed together ever since.
Let's talk a little bit about inspiration for Space Haven. You quote on your website, Oxygen Not Included, Rimworld, and Dwarf Fortress. So how do they relate?
What I liked about Rimworld was the deep characterization and its ability to produce emergent stories through its mechanics. And this was something we wanted to try to achieve also with Space Haven. We have very similar skills, traits, and a conditions system. And when we combine this with a tile-based gas simulation system, similar to the one in Oxygen Not Included, we hope to achieve a lot of depth to how you design and build your spaceship, or many spaceships. We also have support for building a small fleet. And regarding this fleet, we have kept the possibility to give roles to your ships. So one ship could be where you mine and refine, while another is for a nice kitchen and perhaps a good place for leisure time. This deep characterization is how it relates to Rimworld, and the tile-based gas simulation system is how it relates to Oxygen Not Included.
So we just kind of got a decent little overview here, but like what is Space Haven and what is it about?
Space Haven. Well, Space Haven is our ambitious, deep, and immersive space adventure game, which originally was inspired by Battlestar Galactica. And when we started to think about mechanics, the games that spoke most to us were Rimworld and Oxygen Not Included. So in Space Haven, you take command of a ragtag crew trying to find a new home for humanity. Earth is not a nice place to live anymore. Many want to leave and try their luck out there in the galaxy. And you get to build spaceships tile by tile, optimize living conditions, manage the needs and moves of your crew, encounter other spacefaring groups, and explore the universe in search of a new Earth.
So, can you tell us how the game starts?
Yeah, so the game starts right when your selected crew has been transported to a sector where they need to build a spaceship for themselves, and then venture out into the galaxy. Before this, we will have a character selection screen eventually, so you would get to choose who you take with as part of your crew. As I've said before, we want the game to have deep characterization, so in this character selection screen you would have to try to set up a crew related to how you want to try to survive. And from here, it's all about getting that minimum viable spaceship to venture out into the first star system and gather resources to expand and make your ship more comfortable.
So how does the building work? How do we require the resources that we need to build this spaceship?
Well, you have complete freedom to build a spaceship the way you want it to be. So you are free to experiment and trying to find a nice design that works in many aspects. With these aspects, I mean like crew comfort and efficiency, but also like regarding accidents and fires and ship-to-ship combat. And you acquire resources by mining and using refineries to refine them to build blocks. You can also explore derelict ships and salvage facilities from them. There's trading, of course, and if you want, you can simply attack another ship and take what they have.
Talked a little bit about oxygen already, but that's not all what is functional, because everything is basically functional and all facilities are functional in a game and serve a purpose. So besides oxygen, what's the most important to have on the ship?
Having a good temperature is, of course, an important thing. So your crew might otherwise freeze to death or get burn wounds. But in addition to this, there's also carbon dioxide and other or hazardous gases. So you need to build scrubbers to keep these in check, or risk your crew members becoming sick. And regarding these facilities, they really all do serve a purpose. So some, like the bridge and hyperdrive, enable hyperspace jumps, while others, like the arcade machine, lift up the mood of the crew members. The core provides power routed through power nodes, and hangars enable you to have mining pods and shuttles. And we plan to add many more facilities to the game, as well as beer. You always need beer.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I think you just sold Adfo.
Oh yeah, he did.
All right, so the current demo that we have, that we've had the opportunity to play, is still pretty early. So I'm curious, what does your development roadmap look like?
So we have a bunch of modules we want to work on. Before I name them all, I want to clarify something. Like, we really like the approach Steinen took with Rimworld, where he had his own planned modules for the game, but was willing to listen to his community. And should someone come up with a great idea, he was willing to implement that. So these following are not set in stone, and not all of them might be implemented, but it's our intention to try to get as many as possible in the game, and also listen to what our alpha backers will have to say. But these would include role play, and with this we want to work more on role play elements, which means that the player could role play as a pirate or slave trader, alien hunter, or something like that. So we want to create mechanics and tools that enable this. So for example, if you want to role play a slave trader, you will be able to build some kind of prison, and there will be a slavers guild faction in the game that is willing to pay for poor captured pawns that you might have. And in addition to this, we have one big thing that is environmental storytelling. So with this, we want to evoke more feelings when the player is exploring a derelict ship or station. So let's say you're exploring a station and it's filled with aliens and you manage to fight and win. Then you explore it some more, and then you find a door that is locked tight. And you manage to break through it, and you see 10 dead station crew members who have been there for a long time. So this starts immediately to put things into your mind that what could have happened on that station. And we want deep characterization. We have the architecture for this in place, but we want to put more time to improve the character interactions, relationships, skills, traits, and conditions. Then we have research. We want to create a research tree with various new technology to unlock, and these would include various weapons, shields, and facilities. Then we have crew combat and ship-to-ship combat. So we want to implement these and improve on the mechanics, and it's looking like it will be real time with a pause at the moment, but it's also something that we want to gather feedback on from our alpha backers. Then we have, of course, something that has been asked for a lot is modding, and at some point we would like to take a month or two to create some modding tools for the game. And then one big thing would be landing on planets, but this is quite ambitious.
How in-depth is the gas simulation? Is it similar to, for example, oxygen not included? How does it work?
Yeah, so we have a tile-based gas simulation system, and not only that, we have also a temperature and even crew comfort working with the same principles too. Each style of the game have their own value of various gases, temperature, and crew comfort, and characters will get various states from these values when they pass through or stand in them. So these systems open up a ton of possibilities, like having crew members die from lack of oxygen, or getting a first-degree burn wound or worse from standing in a hot place or in fire. And smoke can make it hard for a crew member to see anything. But one of the most exciting things for me is the crew comfort system. So you have to design your ship well for crew members to feel comfortable. So let's say you build a bed right next to the ship core and they go to sleep. So the system will recognize this and they will feel extremely uncomfortable when they're sleeping. But if you decide to build walls around noisy facilities, this will improve comfort a lot. And regarding this system, we made the interaction with this as easy as possible. So there's various view modes for each different gas, temperature and comfort. So you can flip through these view modes and see which places are bad for your crew members. Also, when you build facilities, the proper view mode will pop up automatically. So let's say you're building a life support, and here the oxygen view mode will pop up and show you where oxygen is low.
So I love the deep characterization and character simulation in other games of this genre. You know, I personally am a massive fan of Rimworld with thousands of hours, and I've recently been getting deep into Dwarf Fortress as well. And I love the procedural generation of stories that things like these create. And I'm really curious, will the characters feel unique, and what systems do you have in place to create unique personalities?
Well, it's definitely our goal to make the characters feel unique. But it will take time. You can't just slap on some stats on characters and think they feel unique now. And we believe they start feeling unique when they start having a meaningful impact on gameplay. And we want to achieve this through the skills, traits, and condition systems we have in place. We actually have it to a point where a character can smell really bad, for example, and ruin the mood around all individuals he comes close to. The skills system will allow characters to excel at crafts they're good at and might cause accident or other hazards when doing something they really shouldn't be doing. So someone who is bad at refining could easily cause a fire to start from a refinery facility, which could spread throughout the ship and cause the crew to die. We have this architecture in place, but we just need to flesh this out more and put more meat on these to make them have more impact on gameplay.
Okay, in other games in the genre, missions often begin to get repetitive. For example, in Rimworld, there are a low number of mission types you have. So how much variety will there be in the mission types that you have in game? And can you tell us some things that we can expect to see?
Yeah, so obviously the derelict ships are one, exploring them and clearing them of aliens. In addition, we have thought about making encounters with other factions more meaningful by having them ask for help at times. So maybe they have someone sick and they don't have a doctor, but you happen to have Rudolph, who's a great doctor. You can send him to help them and maybe he'll be able to do some surgery or something. Or maybe he messes it up and they attack you. Another example could be like if they have a broken ship core and they need a very skilled engineer to repair it, and you happen to have that, so you can help them that way. And we want the whole game to give meaningful choices to the player and let him decide how he wants to react. So if someone is in trouble, you could simply go there and take all their stuff and decide that you're not going to help them at all. You're just going to rob from them and leave them to their own luck.
So let's talk a little bit about combat. Specifically in this case, the on-foot combat, so your foot soldier combat. I know you mentioned earlier that currently it is real time with pause, but I'm curious how the system is working right now, and what are some things you would like to implement to the current system?
Yeah, so our current thoughts on both the crew combat and ship-to-ship combat is to have it real time with a pause. There will be various weapons, from fists to rifles. We have Fog of War, and we also want the character traits and the condition system to play a part. So we can make someone have a wimp trait, for example, which would give him a chance to panic if he has to shoot with a gun. And maybe as a result of all of this, he runs right into the alien lair and gets captured.
Okay, cool. Can we talk a little bit about the ship-to-ship combat right now? How does it work exactly, and what can we expect besides firing at each other, obviously?
So this is where the tile-based gas system is going to really shine. A hull breach will cause all gases to get sucked out of the ship. So should you get one, your crew members will be having their hands full trying to fix that. We want to achieve some of that strategy seen in FTL to this one, so you can, for example, try to target their ship core and kill their power completely, or maybe there is a power node close to the enemy turrets and it's easier to target that, so you aim on it and kill the power to the turret. And when the enemy is trying to flee, you can target their hyperdrive and try to stop them.
Okay, this is giving me flashbacks of venting my own oxygen to kill the people in my ship and then just cloning everybody later. That sounds like a lot of fun. So after combat, we need to heal back up, right? So we've seen cryopods and medical treatment, but what if we can't treat them? Is there permanent scars, debuffs?
Yeah, permanent scars and debuffs are possible, yes. The condition systems will allow for this. With this system, imagination is really the limit here. We have medical beds and we want a scanning mechanism so your doctor can use it to scan for injuries or possible foreign masses. And we will have surgery and general tending to wounds. Another thing I'm excited about is right now we have it so that crew members need to be put into hypersleep when doing interstellar travel. And otherwise this could result in some type of aging condition or similar. So you can jump without having characters in hypersleep pod within a star system, but when you want to jump to a new star system, it's better to have them in hypersleep pods.
It's your time to shout yourself out and tell people where to find you and more information about Space Haven. And maybe you can tell us a little bit about your Kickstarter as well.
You can find it at bugbite.fi/Space Haven, or just, go to Google and search for Space Haven. And with the Kickstarter, I want to point out that we're not only looking to acquire funds for further development. The Kickstarter will be a starting point for us to start developing the game further. And we want to use the feedback we get from alpha backers as a guideline here. Look us up and see if you like the game.
As a fan of the genre and somebody who really likes to play these types of games, I'm just happy to see anybody trying to tackle the kind of elusive science fiction spaceship version of this style of game.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear it, and I hope everything goes well and we're able to put at least 2 years more into this game.
Cool. Then first of all, I want to thank you, Aksel, for joining and talking about Space Haven with us.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks a lot to you guys out there watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, you may want to hit the like button. And if you really enjoyed this video, not only head over to Kickstarter and check the Kickstarter page of Space Haven out, but also visit their homepage. We will put links in the description, of course. And if you really like the video and support what we are doing, please be so kind and head over to Ko-fi to support us over there. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for watching again. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.